All
Record.
right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to introduce my new guest, special one. Probably you heard some things about this guest already if you're digging into flat earth and stuff like that. Today's guest is Sean Hibbeler.
Hey, what's going on, Rob? Hello to your wonderful audience. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you
Sorry about
for.
any background noise. I got people drilling outside in this alley over here, so nothing I can do about that if you guys hear that.
Oh, no props, man. No props. I will filter it with enhanced audio anyway. So probably all the
Okay.
noise that we make, except the speech, will be 100% good recording for the Spotify listeners and the Apple listeners out there. Oh, Sean, we got a lot of things to talk about because you are working on your new project. For the people that don't know Sean Hibbeler is Hibbeler Productions on YouTube and on hibblerproductions.com, if I pronounce it correct. And
Yeah,
you
yep.
will, yeah, and you will see level with me and the next level. And these are three of them that I want to point out that made you quite famous, right?
Oh, I guess if you call that famous, sure. I think I kind of transcribed that into those three films made the world wake up quicker,
Hmm.
help the world wake up faster. That my job's to raise awareness. My job is not to make films about topics that someone like yourself, a flat earther, would. I'm not here to like make a film for the flat earthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm one. I'm just saying. I'm not here to make a film for the flat earth. I'm here to make films for your neighbor and your cousin and the people that call you crazy. So
Right.
that's why I'm here. I'm here to do God's work in a very 101 sense to and it's so important. It's so overrated. I'm sorry, underrated how we need to simplify some of this stuff, whether it's flat earth, the old world, even the trafficking of our children.
Hmm.
We need to simplify it for the masses because there's something wrong with their brain. There's something wrong with maybe they're plugged in the matrix and it's very hard to wake them up. So my job is to kind of bring it back down to their level of the Hollywood vibe, the Hollywood feel, like, oh, a documentary, flashy trailers.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why
yeah.
I do that stuff, guys. That's why I do that to draw in the person that's not already truth seeking, the person
Mm-hmm.
that's not already researching, because they're just going to see some random movie trailer and go, oh, my cousin was talking about the flat earth. Maybe I should check that one out because that seems serious, opposed to something like Behind the Curve or something, right? Like a hit
Right.
piece. So
Right.
I'm trying my hardest to just move mountains by simple 101 knowledge of information, um, of different topics, really. And
Right.
more
Yeah.
topics are going to be coming. And I'm not going to always do like the 101 vibe, but I think it's the most important style at the moment because we have to wake up our brothers and sisters, man. And that's one way to do it. The
Right.
one way not to do it is to yell at them, to scream at them, to tell them they're stupid for believing in the globe, and
Mm-hmm.
or just to ignore them. I know people all the time are like, yeah, I don't talk to anyone anymore because of this, and I'm like, no, send them my films. Here's 3 free links. Just send it over to them because
Right.
then they'll come back around and go, okay, all right, let's talk because I'm not just putting in there the Earth's flat. I don't even think we say that much in any of my
No,
films.
I think never
You know,
ever. But just the
you don't
concept
have
of the
to.
globe Earth is
Yeah,
being discussed and stuff like that. And you're
it's not
doing
a
a
globe.
great job. I think one of your movies popped up first when I was digging into that flat Earth kind of stuff like a few years ago. And I think that you also have to deal nowadays with a lot of big tech that's gonna prevent people to look into the stuff. Well,
Yep.
they probably will find some stuff, but it's debunking, and we are probably flat Earth retards. Yeah. And that's not the case because we have more and more people just like you that are making documentaries and stuff like that and spitting out the truth. I had an interview with Vika Draziv.
Yeah, Vika. I was just gonna say
Yeah,
Vika made one. Yep. We need more, man. I can't just have me and Vika out there. Where are all the top producers? Where are all the people that left Hollywood? Where are all the people that are waking up? It's time to come out of your closets and start making motion pictures, guys. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
the
the
time is
funny,
now.
yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, you all also talked about it on podcasts. It's not like you have Hollywood budget, right? You
No,
did the first three for like $15,000, it was something like that.
no, man, not even.
Oh,
The first couple projects I've ever done in terms of for funding has been under 30K. So go
wow.
make a movie and documentary for $30,000, and people will laugh at you. I know people like Miriam Haneen. She was the director of the Real Timeline about George Floyd, the Real Timeline.
Hmm.
I produced it. I helped her produce it. She needed a producer. It was her project. I've never done anything like that. But since I knew George Floyd was a bullshit psyop, I was
Hmm.
like, I'll help you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that was the first time someone was like, hey, I can offer you some money if you could help me edit this film and all this stuff. Now, if it was a film with like globes everywhere, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm okay. But since it
Hmm.
was a George Floyd's is a psyop and the cops know about it and the media, and I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I already made one called Psychological Operation. So I'm on her team. I was on her team with that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. So actually, that's the first time I got paid for anything ever.
Wow.
So that was cool. It wasn't much, but it was enough to go, yeah, you know what? Maybe if I could try to set my life up this way in some sense, then I don't have to, then all my films can be free on my website or something. Cause right now they're like $2, that's how I pay my bills. Like
Wow.
two to $4 to
Uh-huh.
rent one of my films. But which people still go, dude, you should charge 10. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But that's how I pay my bills, hibbelerproductions.com. But at
Hmm.
the same time, I would give anything to eliminate that. And it's possible in the near future that, especially now teaming up with Stu Peters, his people, it's very possible that the future of Hibbeler Productions will be films released in 4K for free and no more fundraisers, no more, renting all free. And that's what I'm working toward. That's what God is allowing me to do right now and
Hmm.
be here to say, hey, the last 7 years you've been busting your ass making free stuff. Now you barely started charging a couple bucks. You're barely keeping the lights on. I think God allowed me to meet someone like Stu Peters and his team that see my talent and go, dude, you're wow. Like they're just like they can't even believe that like I can make stuff like that. And they're like, we need you. Like, and I'm all about what Stu's doing right now. I don't know if you guys
Uh-huh.
watch Stu Peters, but I would advise go watch some Stu Peters. He's the only news analyst that is talking pure truth, not just half truth, pure
Oh,
truth.
wow. And that's something true. That's something somehow we have to point out all the things that are like say a little bit fishy, right? When somebody
Yeah.
says like the government or whatever, just like, oh, don't look at here, but look at that. Just like you did a well, a beautiful documentary, but it's a very tragical one with Maui. You know what happened there with all the stuff that's been going on.
Maui in 15, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and now you
free on YouTube and Rumble right now, guys.
yeah, and you have to dig into that because oh no, it's conspiracies. No, these are point out facts. And what happened to that story now, like 1 year ago? Nobody's talking about it. The people still don't have any funds or any money, just like you. And what I wanted to point out is you came from sports, right? You were editing and doing videos on sports, and then all of a sudden you open up your eyes like 9/11. It was, I think, that you
No, no, it was
mentioned.
it was Erik Dubay for sure.
Okay.
Um, yeah, 20 end of 24 sorry, end of 2014, early 2015. I said I can't do sports anymore. Um, I just couldn't do it, man. I kept watching flat earth stuff. My mind kept opening and opening and opening, and I kept being aware of the lies, and it all came just. It's like it all collapsed on me that
Mm.
week, and it's like I couldn't get up from the collapse. I couldn't get up and go, well, I got stuff to do now. I got a work to do, and I got a job to do. I got a 9 to 5. I just want to throw it all out. I'm like, I have to. It was a very long road. It wasn't like that week I quit my job. Like, no, I had a 9 to 5 for a long time, guys. That's
Hmm.
why when you go to my YouTube, that's why you only see like for the past 10 years, you'll see like one, two if I'm lucky, but one short video released that year, right? So people would
Right.
always complain. Even my current wife, who was just a fan, a long time ago, would say, "What the heck? Like like once a year you upload something." and then it's like 25 minutes. They're like, it's the greatest 25 minutes ever, but it's only 25 minutes or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a 9 to 5. I can't do that. I can't. Especially when it comes to a full film. I'm like, yeah, right. What are you talking about? So finally,
Wow.
when the lockdown happened, I was like, okay, I can't go work anyways, right?
Uh-huh.
Everything's locked down. So that was the perfect opportunity at that moment for me or from God that said, "Hey, um, it's now or never, man. Because
Right.
if you don't go all in now with Hibbeler Productions, if you don't go all in now with sitting down, I knew it was a scamdemic from day one. So
Hmm.
I already started collecting evidence for my film Fluvid-19, fluvid-19.com. But Fluvid-19, when I put that out, I already had a lot of information sitting on it. So, I was in my mind, I was one of the first to know the whole thing was planned. The whole thing was fake. I had Fauci in 2017 talking about or 2018 talking about that nobody's scared of influenza. They have to get people scared of influenza. And
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
they got to do it from within. They got to get some money and stuff. It's like, what are you talking about? Like all these things I collected back then. It's like, I knew that one day I'd be able to make films full time, travel, work, edit, post produce, make trailers for myself or my affiliates. And that's the life I'm living now. Now, is it full of luxury? No, I don't need that. I don't need that. You
No,
see the
but it's
lights are on?
fulfillment,
Listen,
I
listen.
think.
Oh, lights are on. All I care about, man. Lights are on. Cool. I can work. That's it. Did I
Right.
eat something today?
Right.
Not yet. I will. Don't worry. I don't need all this shit, man. Like I'm good. I just want to keep waking the world up. I want to go outside and see the world better,
Hmm.
opposed to how can I live better or something. No, I want to see the world better, man. And if not, I don't have a job. If the world's perfect, I don't have a job. So,
Right. Right. I love that.
but guess what? I can't wait to not have a job.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because you have to be very dedicated to do the stuff that you do. These
It's
are going to
hard, yeah.
take long hours. I know that, for example, I do a normal 9 to 5 job. I do the podcasting. I have 2 or 3 podcasts in a week. I uploaded them to Spotify and stuff like that. I edit them, upload them. Then I'm going to put
Okay.
it on YouTube. Still, I do have that platform, like not that much subscribers, but I still have some subscribers. But
Yep.
it takes so long to edit the video and to upload the stuff. It's just like, oh, come on, I'm a sitting duck here. I want to do more, I want to bring out more
Well, this
content.
is why I stopped the Hibbler effect because my podcast on Rockfin because I just couldn't do it, man. I couldn't
Too
like
much.
I'm already producing Eddie Bravo's podcast, right? So that's many, many hours of my week taken away. So I'm doing a film, so I'm like, I can't just Eddie's show, that's it. If I did my show too, still, if I brought people like, will you bring your show back? I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, man, maybe after this film's out, maybe after the film's out, I'll go get some guests, talk some shit. It's fun. But you have to understand, I don't just go blah, 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 and then leave. I have to do everything that you see, the graphics, the animation, the
Exactly.
intro, the guest, the music. And I'm a perfectionist, so mine's got to look better than anything in the world, But so that means
Right, right.
I'm up for 3 fucking nights. And guess what? Guess how much of the film got done for nothing. So I'm sitting here doing podcasts and other people's podcasts when I want the film to be out by the end of May. So
Mm.
I need to. I knew back in January. I knew no more podcasts for me. I'm not going to have time. And I only say that because you mentioned how time consuming it is, and yeah, exactly, it is.
Yeah.
Especially if you're editing your own show. Fuck that. If I was doing a show and just giving it to someone, yeah, I think I would have kept my show. I think I would have kept my show, man. I
Right,
really
right.
did.
But
Yeah.
the good thing is when you do all the stuff by yourself, the editing, the video, the audio layers, all that stuff, you still have everything in within hand, right? So you can bring
Yeah.
it out whenever you want. When you are satisfied, you can say, okay, I can put it out. I had to
Yeah.
learn that because I'm also very skeptical about myself and about the words I use because I'm coming from the Netherlands and try to speak English, stuff like that.
You have great English, man. Don't worry about your English, bro.
Thanks.
I know
But
people that have lived in America for 30 years that sound 10 times worse than you.
Oh wow. So
Yep.
so
And
and
they've
that's
lived
one of the
here.
things, right? So when you do the stuff yourself, you have the command and drive button. So you can do it whatever you want and when you want. If you're dependent on other people like producing or bring the
Yep.
stuff out or stuff like that, it's going to take a while until they have finding the time to put it out. Right.
Or they got down your style of what you want. That's one thing for me. It's like, how would I be able to pass that along to someone else? My mind, the way I produce, the way I, this is no ego, but no one can do it like me,
Mm,
right? Right. So me, and you should say that about yourself. You're only you. So
right.
no one could do it like me. If I taught someone how, it doesn't make sense to me to teach someone that's just my brain, my vision, the way I do things. How can
Exactly.
that be put into words to train someone? I don't think it can be in a sense, but at the same time, I'd always would have just rather do my own stuff. I mean, for
Yeah.
moving forward, I'm always going to do my own stuff. And
It's
even when I'm working with or for technically, well, no, technically it's still with. If I'm working with Stu Peters,
mhm.
he's the first guy to tell me. It's like, I don't, he goes, that's, you're the guy. You do what you want with these projects. Whatever films we're
Right.
making, he's like, he's like, I'll have my 2 cents, but that's you. So, and it's pressure, right? But I still like that because I'm all about truth and transparency. I don't want anything else, and neither does Stu. So that's why it would make a perfect combination for the
Mm,
next films moving forward. Old World Order, he just wanted to help because he knew the fundraiser was going slow.
mhm.
So Stu came in and said, "Look, let me fund the rest of your trip, your flights, whatever you need. Get this film done, and then we can make another film. I'm not going to talk about the topic of what film
Oh,
that's going to be
wow.
on, but you can use your mind why I wouldn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But again, he's very supportive. He's like, look, man, let me support you with the Old World Order. Obviously, he's not balls deep into the old world or anything.
Mhm.
But I'm helping him along the way. Sorry, let me put this on vibrate. Justin Harvey, shout out Justin Harvey, texting me. Um, you know, I'm teaching him as we go along about it, and he knows history's a lie. He knows that, the Rockefeller books, who are printed by Ghislaine Maxwell's father, this whole system of education that we've been forced into for over 100 years now,
Mm,
it's all fabrication, ladies and gentlemen. It's
right.
it's literally a book of it's NASA. It's fabrication.
Yeah.
It's the Western, the Indians, the white
Doesn't
people
matter
were just
what.
stupid
It's
idiots that
world.
did draws in the middle of the street, and we went home to shacks. I mean, literal fucking shacks. But yet Abraham Lincoln lives in a shack, but when he goes to work, it's an old world, beautiful palace. It's like you couldn't have whipped him something smaller to live in. You don't know how to do that. Oh, that makes sense. You don't know how to
Oh,
fucking make those, do ya? No, you don't. Okay. So go home in a shack and go to work in a palace. Well, I'm here to
right.
say that those palaces have been here for a long time, and they didn't really want to populate this country, specifically America,
Mhm.
till they had a lot of them gone, a lot of them on fire, torched. This is where the World Fair. This is where
Yeah.
it comes into
Oh,
play. It keeps going because they knew that with the major old world cities, Now there's old world all over the world. There,
exactly.
I saw a building in the middle of Wisconsin that had um, just griffins all over it. I mean, in the middle of nowhere, old world is shit. So
Huh,
again, it's everywhere. But I'm talking about the giant cities, San Francisco, Chicago, whatever. Sorry, all
right.
these major Portland, all these major huge cities of the past
Mhm.
were the World Fair. That's what that is. That's their downtown. That was their huge fucking city. Now, what the current society would do, the Freemasons that found Freemasonry, good name to name your gang. You found
Right.
Freemasonry. Okay, we're the Freemasons, I guess, right? So they find these buildings, and instead of just torching them all and making excuses, they torch the ones on the outskirts, a lot of them, especially the smaller rural downtown areas.
Mhm.
They got rid of a lot of those buildings, and the giant centers, the giant cities, you can't just torch that. Everyone's going to notice. So what they would do is before they came in and populated it and marketed it, they said, "Hey, let's build a few of these smaller buildings on the outskirts of this
Mhm.
fairgrounds, right?" So they would build a few buildings, guys, okay? They build a few that you could tell they're smaller. They got fresh paint on it. I mean, literally, I feel like when I'm watching these fairs, old footage of World Fairs, there's always one guy when you walk in, like painting, like, "Hey, welcome. Just
Wow.
finish it up."
Watch it.
You
Fresh
see,
paint.
you
Don't leave
see
it to
this
the
like
building.
You see these giant buildings, and I mean, just millions of square miles behind him, and he's just on this small building with like wood pillars. Like none of it's the same, but it looks like a small mini version of what they got. And
Wow.
there's like, hey, come on in, enjoy. We're gonna take this all down soon. We just put this up.
Uh-huh.
We're going to take it all down in 6 months or so. Why? Well, because we put it up. Fuck you. That's
Because
why.
we
No,
can.
it's an excuse. Yeah. It's an excuse to take down an entire city at a time. Why can you take down an entire city at a time? Well, because we just threw it up. I mean, and this is the kiddie tales that were bought back then, you know?
Right.
And it's sad because no one's buying that shit right now. And for the people that the naysayers on the old world, the like Iwaranon, Crow 777, any of them that say, "Oh, this is a stupid rabbit hole. It's a psyop. It's not real. People like us built those." You know, shut the fuck up.
It
That's all I'm
can.
gonna say to them. Is shut the fuck up. You must be retarded to think that people our size not only would want to build 30-foot doorways in every side of a building, but
Mm.
why would you have to do that? For what? Oh, let's
Right.
honor the old Roman tradition. Let's honor the old Moorish architecture. No, dude, the shit was already there. You
Yeah.
can see the original photos of these buildings. They already look 150 years old. They're
Right.
weathered. They're not brand new construction. If it was brand new construction, then we would have, call it the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. Where is the inside being built? Why are there only photos of the outside of the constructed building? You just see a bunch
Right.
of sticks. You see a bunch of sticks that someone could have drew with a pencil, to be honest. And
Uh-huh.
then someone standing there with a top hat on and their hand inside their pocket. We know what that is. And they're just, yeah, well, look, that's the official construction photo. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's
That
that's
doesn't make any
unbelievable.
sense. It
So
doesn't make any
so
sense.
old world order,
Yeah.
where on Earth did you went to film and still making this documentary? That's probably in spring this year, right? So
Yeah.
with a little bit of luck.
Yeah, with a little bit of luck and time, if time slows down for me, it'll be out by the end of May. I promise.
Okay, cool.
Where have I gone? Yeah, so I went to. Let me start. I gotta go way back. Hopefully, I'm in order. It doesn't matter.
No,
San
no, this is
Francisco. Yeah,
disorganized, so you can spit it out
yeah,
within.
yeah, yeah. So obviously, LA, San Francisco, New York, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Miami, Florida, Chicago, um, Prescott, Arizona,
Wow.
a little bit of Texas,
And that's only for America. So what would be your
Hawaii.
favorite?
I went to Hawaii too.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm merging Maui into this film
Okay.
because
Because you were there.
people don't realize the aftermath of Maui compared to the great fires of the past. You're basically looking at the same photo if you
Right.
can get the point of
Burned
that.
down till the
For the
ground.
people that know, for the people that really know about Maui, or you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Maui in 15. It's
Mm,
free. It's on Rumble, YouTube, Hiller Productions. Go watch that and then come back to the show
right.
because obviously they destroyed that city. Okay. Someone very dark and evil said, let's torch that city. It's not hard to see. It's also not hard to see the rubble, not hard
Mhm.
to see stone buildings in Maui completely disintegrated or chopped in half sideways. Well, you can't do, listen, there's a reason that we all have, I don't have a fireplace, but if you do have a fireplace, we all have a stone and brick fireplace, guys.
Right.
Why is it stone or brick or both?
Because
Why?
it doesn't
Because
burn. Right?
no way. So how did an
Oh,
entire stone city burn down? How did and I'm not saying Maui's an entire stone city, but BJ Penn, he's in the film, the UFC legend. He told me on the film that Maui had the most old world, older stone, marble type of buildings. Maui had the most. Lahaina had the most left in all Hawaii.
wow.
It's gone now. It's all gone now. There's not one stone building to film out there, guys.
Oh,
Lahaina's, I mean, not Lahaina. Is it Hilo? There's some island that still has the capital, and then it still has Alani Palace. So the Alani Palace is still in Hawaii. That's an old original building. But I think that Hawaii was on the land of Mu, the old continent of Mu that got flooded out, whether it was a flood or an electrostatic collect just event that happened and the whole grid was torched. Something
Right.
happened and a lot of shit sunk.
Uh-huh.
People say Atlantis, Atlantis, Atlantis. Yeah, I give you that, but I'm talking about Mu, MU. Look up MU. MU was a continent on many maps in between what it'd be South America and man, I'm bad at geography. I went to public school, but
Uh-huh.
it's the bottom, right? The bottom of the world as we're taught in kindergarten,
Right.
right? So everything on the bottom, there was a in between those two continents. So well, yeah, South America and fuck. I need to see a
America
map now.
and
Come on, you're supposed to help me out. You're better in geography than me. I could tell by just your face.
I'm
I'm
looking at
terrible at
South
geography.
America right now,
Wait,
so you got
where's
all
my
the
map?
continents.
Yeah. South America and Africa, call it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
normally. I
Sure.
just agree just because I don't know. I'm just totally blank at this time. But
This
normally I
is the
would say
Amer.
yes. Yeah.
I see. I'm blaming my American public education system. So, but anyways, the
You
two
gotta keep it
continents
up,
on the
man.
bottom. I'm so bad I'm so bad at like just fifth grade anything really. Like
It's
if I
just
went back to like
geology,
fifth grade, I'd probably get a D still.
topography.
Um, but my point is this: there used to be. My eyes don't lie. That's for sure. There's tons of maps back in the day that have this continent called MU.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to my lunch break on YouTube. He just covered this, blew my mind, blew
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
mind. And then I talked to BJ Penn in Hawaii, and I told them about Land of Mu because look, BJ and all the Hawaiians out there, and by the way, he's like the most popular guy in the whole state. BJ told me that nobody knows in Hawaii. Nobody knows where they come from. Nobody knows their ancestors. Nobody knows how they got to this state in the middle of an ocean. Like, what is going on? They have this one story, this artist impression. These Hawaiians, these dumb Hawaiians come poking sticks at people, and then they end up on the island. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. And there was one story by one guy that was alive in the 1900s that created that story. So they're lost. They have no idea. Now it's kind of like, yeah, they might be from a very big continent, and they're a piece of the continent that sunk. They did not sink, obviously. They're maybe on the outskirts, the end. I don't know. But it's very strange, man. We don't know our history. We don't, and we're never going to know if we just rely on school and television.
Oh, I totally agree.
That's the opposite of the truth.
Have you ever been to Europe?
No. My wife is from Blackpool, Manchester, around there.
All right.
So eventually, yeah. I mean, I will go out to England and visit out there. And the only time I left the country was to go see Santo Bonacci in Mexico a few times. So
that's a good reason, my friend.
Well, yeah.
That's a damn good reason. I love to have that Santos on my show. But what I'm trying to say with have you ever visited Europe or England? Because we got some very old structures here.
But see, that's the thing. That's where the confusion is with most people in the world. Your buildings are accepted as, oh, that was knocked out in 1000 AD. And the reason they do that goes right over the head. Out of sight, out of mind. They don't even fathom it that there wasn't even power tools back then. So it's like
we had the Black Ages, the Dark Ages. We haven't seen anything for like hundreds of years, except the whole other worlds. India, China, America. They had lights and stuff like that. But we had the Middle Ages. We were dark. We didn't have anything. But if you see the cathedral in Cologne, it's mind-boggling. And I got goosebumps all over only talking about it because I was there like a few months ago.
Nice.
And I never entered that building, but it's so fantastically built. And we have a lot of that stuff. If you drive through the countryside of Europe, you see some castles built on the top of a hill, and you just have something like, how the fuck did they get up there? Even by car, you can't almost go through there because it's too
no, man, horse and buggy. It's simple. Horse and buggy.
Yeah,
and the horse is stalling tons of stone. Cool story, man.
Right.
But that's the thing, though. That's where the main confusion lies into me. That's where they throw that curveball for the world. Is you go to Europe, especially Germany, some of their buildings. Oh my
Oh,
God! You go over there and you see these monumental structures, which to me are the baby brothers of the old world. Really, I mean, like
hmm
there were bigger buildings than that. Even is the point. But the ones that they left, they didn't torch them in the wars, right? Especially World War II. They were trying to get rid of these buildings,
hmm
anyways. So whatever's left in Europe, you go and you go, oh my God. They go, oh yeah, by the way, this is built in 101 AD or 101 BC or 1124 AD. All these weird dates that no one can verify, out of
Right.
sight, out of mind. No one really processes as true. They just kind of accept it and move on. But then you go to the North America here and San Francisco, Chicago, Detroit, wherever you want to go, and you see the same type of building. You're like, wait a minute, this is like the same fucking thing. And then you're like, hey,
Right.
when was this built? 11 AD or something? They're like, no, 1892. Took a year. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you just say it took 1 year to build this back in 1892? Because there's a building across the street from my house that's been taken 10 years to build, and it's like the size of a Dunkin' Donuts. So what are
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
talking about here?
Exactly.
Why would that, how
Makes no
could that
sense.
be? No,
Makes no
doesn't.
sense. And the
Then
funny
you go,
thing,
I'm like, hey, let me find the construction photo. And then it's like, it looks like literally they just made it in the dark room with the negatives. That's what layering is. People go, there wasn't Photoshop back then. I go, okay, you can go to any antique shop. I advise people to do this. Go to any antique shop, ask for their 1800s to early 1900s postcards. They all got
hmm
them. They all got them, right? You'll find postcards. They're all themed. A lot of them look similar. This one's from Germany. This one's from San Francisco. But you see the background of the city skyline has like a colorful theme. It basically looks like a magazine. It's like clip art, right?
yeah,
Basically.
yeah, yeah.
But that's Photoshop. How'd they do all that? How would they make all that back in
Right.
1890? Well, yeah, it's called the negatives. That you take a photo of a already built building. Okay. Photo with the white sky. We all know about vanilla sky, but you take a photo of the building with nothing behind it. You go and process that in the dark room. Then you take a photo of three construction guys, Freemasons,
hmm
construction guys, uh, where nothing's behind them, just the white sky again. Then you give it to a professional etcher who they had through the 1800s. They etch out you and your buddy with your ladder, and they put it
Yeah.
right there. And then they give it to the artist, and he can draw. What the etcher does at that point is takes the dome off the original building photo. They take the dome off, they hand it to the artist. The artist now draws a new construction dome in
Right.
pencil that looks like wooden sticks. Now you got your construction photo, and now that's in the library, or that's in the museum as the official construction photo. Where's the inside?
Right.
Where's the statues? Where's the waterfalls built by hand? Where are these beautiful things that I can see on a photograph from the old world or even
hmm
present day? Where are these things being built? Where are these things being hauled in? How are you using weak ass wooden cranes to pick up
to support all that stuff. Right.
tons of steel, tons of stone, limestone, tons of marble? Where are you getting the marble from? In San Francisco, you got to go all the way to Spain to get marble. Are you
Yeah.
sending a horse
How?
there? What are we
How?
talking about? None of it makes sense, as you know. And for anyone saying, "Hey, you're discrediting our human ancestors, our great 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 great," no, I don't think there was a great 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 great. I think it
Right. That's
stops
another
along the
topic I
way.
want to touch base on because you think that our world is not that old as it's supposed to be. Well, I don't think it's billions of years old for my perspective. But please tell me how you come to that conclusion that it's probably not that old as we think.
Yeah, but it's not a conclusion. It's my opinion.
Right.
I don't think no one can really have a conclusion unless you have a time machine. So we don't know anything. First of all,
Mm.
you have to admit we don't know. Second of all, by gathering the evidence, looking, sifting through everything, being the journalist mind I am, it just seems as if not only North America and South America, but most of the world was empty in the early 1800s. Most of the world was empty in the late 1700s. Early photograph evidence will ensure you of that. I mean, you could even go and look at Australia in 1890, 1905 or something. Look at photos. It's like you got all these buildings are built out. All these structures are there. A lot of them look buried, right? Well, a lot of them look like they're being dug up. or dried a new layer. Like this is exactly why when you go to San Francisco, most of the buildings, especially the old world, of course, they got these little stairs to go into the main door. There's no other way to get into these big buildings unless you go up these tiny modern day stairs to get into the main door. Well, when you get into the main door, you're on the third fucking floor right now. And no one knows that. There's two levels beneath you that go down into the ground. And sometimes when they do construction on the building, you could see the many doors and windows under the ground, completely under the ground. Nobody even knows they're walking on top of ancients. So it becomes a problem to me because nobody knows this stuff. They just think that, Donkeys Incorporated, they just jumped in and they threw these stone and marble pieces together. That's the thing. The outside of the building, you can look and go, okay, maybe they can do that. I don't know how they did that. There's no evidence of it. But then when you walk inside, that's where it all gets hung up for me. I walk indoors and I'm like, yeah, no, like this is not home. This doesn't feel like it's something different here. There's something different of an energy there's something going on and you can feel it in these old buildings and you go, you know what, man, there's just no way. If we could build like that then in a year or two, it's hilarious. The timeline is the NASA of it all to me. And besides the besides the fake construction, besides the fake construction photos that are just hilarious. It's really about the timeline. It's such a first grade tale where this guy had no prior experience. He's just an architect and it's always the same thing. He won a contest. He started the project. He made all the prisoners build it by hand. All the prisoners did it. They don't have any experience. How'd they do that? Not only how'd they do that, but it's perfect. So you got all these prisoners making it. No photos of the prisoners ever, but that's cool. So and then he always dies or something, and then his son takes over, knocks it out in the next 6 months. His son's never done a building. Then you look, and somehow that same guy did 4 other buildings across the world that same year.
Right.
So he made 4 buildings that same year. There's so many different stories where you just read it and cross-reference a little, kind of, take a little notes. I tell you in the audience watching, go to your downtown right now, look at some of these older buildings, do the research, see when it was built. And start cross-referencing. You'll start finding, you'll be like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Wait a minute, there's a picture from 1850. That building's there. Why'd they say it was built in 1880? It's already there. Oh, that's where the fire narrative comes in. Every old world building has a fire narrative, meaning if you see an old world building and you go, holy shit, yeah, this is the one Hibbeler was talking about. You could tell, oh my God, look at, it goes underground. Oh, it's buried. Oh, it's stone. Oh, it's marble. Oh, it feels amazing inside here. Look it up because it'll say that's a replicate. No, man, the original was burned down. Right. They're always burned down because that's how they want you to think they built it. Because they're trying to be, we're trying to tell the truth, guys. That was an original one. And we still have a fake story on that one, too. Don't worry about it, because Billy Boy and his son threw that up in a year or two. Don't worry about it. That's the original story. But in 1920, we took it down, or it came down from fire. Same thing. And, they take it down, and then they rebuild it in a year. And then when you see the rebuild, it's scaffolding. Literally. This is a lot of their construction photos, guys, of official construction photos of old world buildings, is the building sitting there intact with scaffolding around it. And then a couple guys with shovels, and that's construction. And people go, oh, yeah, there's construction. They move on in the museum. Me and my lunch break were in Chicago Museum. People were just walking by looking at the fake construction photo going, oh, nice. And they move on. And I'm like, dude, the building's already there. They're just, do you know what scaffolding is for? It's for painting only. And the reason that they're painting all these old world buildings when the first time they took a picture of it, put it this way. If me and you were the first person to take a picture of that building, doesn't matter what it is, we'll just say that building has never been photographed in all of mankind.
Right.
And me and you were the first ones to ever take a picture of it. We can make an argument that we built that. Who has a better argument than us that we built that? Do you have a photo?
Pictures, so
Do you have a photo, gentlemen, that said we didn't build it? No, you don't have a photo. We have a photo. And guess what we did before we took the photo? We put scaffolding up because we're already going to fucking paint that building white. You know why we're already going to paint that building white? Because now it looks a little new. Now it looks like fresh. Now it looks like the guy when you walk up, oh, it's a nice building. Yeah, I got paint in my hand. Yeah, we just threw this together last year. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, we're gonna move here soon, and our family. Yeah, we build all the stuff. Welcome to our city. It's
Oh,
all lies. They paint this picture literally of look, we did all this stuff. Come on in, and in the process, every year they keep taking these buildings down, down, down. Maui to me was an attack of the old world of Hawaii. So is
mm,
Chile. So is Colombia. These are countries that are being torched right now, and people don't even talk about it. They don't even know about Chile. They don't even know about Colombia. They also
right.
got Maui'd. And you look at their
Maui.
ancient structures there.
It's going to
You
be
look at
new
their ancient structure. Look at
2024
World War
war.
II, man. Look at World War II. That Germany did not want to look, man. We won't get into that, but
Yeah, we can.
yeah, well, not if you're on YouTube. No, I have my mouth on World War II has gotten people removed from YouTube
Okay,
completely.
okay,
So
okay.
let's
So
not go there.
I will then try to put it on the other way. Um, I'm living in Europe. I saw a lot of stuff going on here in Europe. One of the funniest things that you see when they have a construction site is that they probably find some stuff underneath it, like archaeology. I struggle with the word
Yeah,
archaeology finds. And with that said, if you see a complete city been built on the pillars of other buildings or stuff that they find downwards, that makes sense that you can say, hey, wait a minute, what about these buildings that are been there or not been there? If you go to Italy and you go to Florence or San Gimignone, if you see how the cathedrals and the churches and all that stuff been built and how many work there is, I think
yep.
there's one door in Florence that's like 35 years of woodwork, and they made it in copper. I think it's a replica, just like you said, it's a replica. But the thing is, if
Replica.
you work like 35 years on a door, how long would it take to make the Celestine Chapel? Like the all the stuff that they put it in there. It's like
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
just like if you look upstairs, then you are in awe. How did they get there like 40, 50 meters high, scaffolding with some little paint? How would you see the perspective of that, what you paint with so much detail when you go down like 40, 50
Yep.
meters, just like, screwed up right there. I got to go up again. That
And
makes
why
no
would they waste? Why would they waste their limited film apparently on the outside of with just a bunch of sticks? Wouldn't
right.
you want to take a shot of not only the architect standing in front of his beautifully built building, but the prisoners, the crew, the workers, the hand carving of the statues, the hand
Mm,
carving of the waterfall, the hand carving of the murals, right? The beautiful murals on the you look up in the building, it keeps going up. The dome, the inside of the dome is decorated by copper and gold and diamonds and gems and everything. Where's the fucking pictures of it?
right.
Where are the photos of
Would
it?
you make a picture of that kind of outstanding
Yeah.
stuff that people could do, just like this bottle, this is like this is
Yeah.
great, and copper, just like 100%. There's a YouTube film that how they do it,
Guaranteed.
how they
Guaranteed.
do it.
Guarantee
It's
it's not just a picture of the
right,
guy with the materials in his hand of the gold going, hey, here's my proof. And here's
right.
you'll see the after result later. We promise that it's made by us by hand, though. It's like,
Mm,
yeah, you would think. And for people that go, well, they didn't need to sell that back then. It's like, no, no, no. It's not about selling it to the public back then. It's one thing to be like, yeah, who cares? We didn't take any construction photos. But some of the excuses of why they didn't take construction photos,
they make no
they don't make
sense.
any sense.
No,
They don't
no,
make any sense
exactly.
because if you could take a picture of the sticks on the outside and then they just have like a bunch of like just cylinder blocks on the side, it looks it's NASA, man. It's like basically if NASA was in control of the old world construction photos, how would you keep believing them? That's how I feel, because that's the way it looks. It looks as if, um, it looks as if NASA had their hands on this shit. And for people that again, I'm repeating
Maybe
people
they
go, they
had.
didn't have Photoshop back then. They had
Maybe
the
they had,
negatives.
because there was one of these guys with Operation Paperclip, von Braun.
Yeah.
That was one of the architects, right? And he made some amazing stuff. But if you look at these buildings and the forts that they built at that time, these were concrete. There was nothing sexy on these buildings. It was purposely made for defending and attacking and
Yep.
stuff like that. It's not like you have a bunker with all these beautiful mosaic and stuff like that. If you go
Well, then
to
Star Forts too. You look at Star Forts and
Star Forts, yeah,
you go,
yeah,
okay, yeah. So we
oh
built
yeah.
those, on the ground. We just built those like perfect like that with no help, no. I don't. There's so many mysteries of the past. I mean, they're driving
Mm,
around on electric trolleys, and they got electric crafts, electrostatic vehicles, scooters. There's technology back then that is public, but
mm-hmm.
that doesn't discredit that it makes no sense to the mainstream narrative.
Right.
Just because they make it public, like, oh, that's not a conspiracy. Yeah, they had these weird things back then. They were driving around and stuff. What are you talking about? We were taught that we were on horse and buggy and donkey. We were stupid, especially white people. That's the story. We're stupid. We
Mm-hmm.
had cowboy hats on. We did the draw in the middle of the street. 3, 2, 1, turn, pume.
The
Oh,
shutter
you shot
shutter,
me first.
yeah.
I died.
No
Never
lights,
happened.
no
Never
lights.
happened. It
Mm.
never happened. That never happened.
Did you know the story about the Amazon in Brazil? That there was I think it was on Joe Rogan too. That there was this guy who was sailing there like 150 years ago or something like that, and
Okay.
he draw and he wrote a story about that he found like a capital city with millions of people in it. 60, 70 years later, people found that book. They were really just like, oh, this is interesting. Let's get down to the Panatal in Brazil and go search this city because it should be still there, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. Only a
I
few years ago, they flew
never heard
over
of that.
with a radar plane, and they found that city that could host like 2.5 million people in the middle of the Amazon. So the thing was like, wait a minute, if there was 150 years ago someone who could see the people walking there and saw a living city,
Yeah.
what about 60 years after that we couldn't find anything, any evidence about that city? And now with the nowadays technology, we can. And what they found it out is like astonishing. You can't see anything like buildings or whatever from that area from that area in that area. But
Yeah.
you have to look deeper because it's all been overgrown by flora and fauna and stuff like that. So it makes sense that when you walk down, doesn't matter where, and you're
Yep.
one of the first people in this country, whatever country you are, and you find just like popping up a building at the end of the horizon, just like, what the hell is that? And when nobody is there, hey, you
No
know
one's
what?
there.
Maybe we can, we got a group of 20 of these people. Maybe we can get into that building and we claim it for ourselves,
Yep.
right? Because that's what they do. People do that. Just like, okay, I don't have to make a cave or something like that worthwhile for living, but there's a house and nobody's in it. So, well, why not? That's one
Well,
of
I
your
think
points too, right?
yeah, that's a good point. But I think once people understand that the 7 known continents that we all know about, we're taught in school, are 7 of many. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They only taught us about 7 continents. Whether you believe in Atlantis, the land of Mu, there's 2 more right there for you. And that's in our known world that they've never taught us. Okay. There's
Mm.
a reason they don't teach us about the hidden lands, the outer lands, the inner lands. They don't want to teach us that. They want us living on a ball, 7 continent ball. Everything's been explored. Everyone knows where everything is. There's no reason to explore. There's no reason to chart
All right.
anything anymore. It's already been done. It's a waste of time. Um, and just go get a 9 to 5 and die of cancer. And that's really their goal. Pay your taxes, and that's that. But once you stop playing their game, and you can see the world with different eyes at that point, and now it's like, you know what, this whole, for a long time in the beginning stage, I was like, why would they lie about the flat earth? Like, why would they just tell us that it's a, okay, yeah, I know it's a money laundering scheme.
Mhm.
They couldn't take billions of dollars from taxpayers without a fake space program. So, okay, I get that. They make fake programs all the time, global warming. They'll do anything to steal money.
Right.
So, but then it comes to a point where like, how did it get out of hand though? Like you'd think like, how funny the moon landings were. That's like even back then they'd be like, all right, man, like this is
Even
ridiculous.
nowadays,
No,
like the
well,
last
you would
couple of
just think
years.
that you would think it would have been treated the same as Elon Musk, putting his Tesla into space,
Right.
meaning it faded away because it was so stupid and so fake that even they don't want to talk about it anymore.
Right.
So I would have thought that the Apollos, but no, they did 6 fucking missions, 6 years, and sold most of the world. And now that has all been crashing on itself. Obviously, it's collapsing. The moon landing is collapsing on itself, and that has set the tone for flat Earth. But once I heard about Admiral Byrd,
Mhm.
that blew it all open for me because I'm like, okay, whether he's a Freemason or not, whether that was set on purpose or not, for anyone to act like that was staged
Mhm.
in any way, I'd like to hear the reason. So you want to bring in Admiral Byrd
Right.
live on TV when TV was live. These announcers did not look like they knew what he was going to say. They actually looked shocked when he said that he found another continent over there, the size of North America. No one's ever seen it. There's
You wouldn't suck
resources.
that out of your thumb, right? It's not a story that you make up.
Well,
Well,
but even if my point is, even if they did, man, the analysts looked like they were shocked as fuck. Like they're like, well, did he just say that on our TV show? Like, oh shit. And then
right.
Admiral Byrd dies 6 months later. I call it the heart
Right.
attack gun. Um, and then NASA starts. So when people see the actual timeline, he finds more land. He's the guy to go over there. You think like NASA and all these, the Satanists in the world are like, we actually have to physically go over there and see how much land there is. They're not doing that.
No, no,
They're
no,
gonna
no.
have their puppets do it. They're military generals.
Right.
So that's what Admiral Byrd did. He's like, I have balls of steel. I'm gonna go. I went to the north and the south. The south has more land. The north has giants. So this guy was already seeing too many things. They take him out. They're like, dude, that Longines chronoscope got a lot of views back then. What are we supposed to do? Probably,
Mm.
100,000 people watched that live. That's a lot back then. And
Right.
so what they do, they settled on the Nazi traitors and they started NASA, and the rest is history. I mean, they had 10, 15 years of Walt Disney pre-programming the nation of
Mm.
what's to come with the moon landing. And then they faked the moon landing and they hope it worked. It kind of did. It kind of didn't. They did a few more. And then NASA was pretty dry through the 70s. 80s came around. NASA was losing a lot of their money. No one gave a fuck about them anymore. Yes,
Mhm.
everyone universally believed in bullshit space, but they weren't really an impact as much. And then the 80s came, they faked the Challenger explosion. That really made them play the harp, harp strings, and oh, we love
Yeah.
NASA. Oh, we feel so
Yeah.
bad.
And it's
Take more
still
of our money.
walking around on this earth. The more
Yeah, I know.
the
Yeah, they're all alive still. Go watch Level with me. But the 90s kind of the same. Back to stagnant. Early 2000s talking about Mars again, and we're 2024 still talking about Mars again.
Mhm.
So it's like they're going to continue until we put an end to it. And
Right.
I'm glad to be one of many that are here on this train ride to put an end to them and put our lives out there and risk everything to
Get it
snitch
out.
basically, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean to be
And it's
to
and it's Sean, it's unbelievable that after all these decades that they try to push it through the audience, right? That people
yeah.
waking up right now, they know that. I mean, they're not that stupid. But then you see India with the fake moon landing, which is worse
That was a good one.
filmed than NASA did, just like with the budgets
Yeah.
that they have. And they just said, okay, we did it only for $15 million. How did, I mean, the stupidity that they want to bring out and the people that believe that stupidity, I mean, if how, you can see how retarded people are if they're going to believe that. Just like look at the screen, Rob and Sean, it's really there. They did it. Okay, but we got some questions, and
Well,
I
the
think
people that believe that today are the ones that wear a mask, walking their dog. They're the
right.
ones that are getting their fifth booster. So there's not much we can do. Look, man, there's a market for everyone. So
Yeah, or
that
rat
market
out on
is
their
for those people.
neighbors. I mean, yeah, the Nazi regime that just repeats again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man,
And well, here's the thing, man. Our history books are just complete lies. I feel as if the Freemasons found the Freemasonry. They populated our, especially in North America, they populated the country.
hmm
They started bringing orphans in on trains by the hundreds. No parents, just throwing right into asylums to educate them the Rockefeller way, and then universally educated the entire world. Now we're all reading the same history books across the world, and it's all lies. So now we're to a point where when you go to a fifth grade history book and open it up, everything's a lie. Well, that's an issue because, yeah, maybe
yeah.
you could say something like math. Okay, maybe that's not a lie. So you should teach your kids math if that's important to you. I was terrible at math my whole life.
Me too,
Uh,
and now I know the reason why.
why? Why? Why do you say it is?
Why? Because
'Cause-
I never get it, right? So you got pi
Yeah.
and you got Pythagoras and stuff like that, but I never knew how to 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 deal with it in normal life. Maybe if you need to make calculations stuff like that, it will work.
Yeah, but I'm
But
not
in
even that good at simple math, man. I didn't retain it, Like
right,
I was just on a podcast a couple weeks ago downtown LA in studio. It was like a show that like they're there to roast you and make fun of you and stuff.
oh yeah, cool.
In humor, like Bull Rat or something. But they're like, flat Earth is retarded. Why are you retarded? It's like one of those where it's like, really? No, Globers are retarded. So I just kept giving it back, right?
Right,
It was
right.
kind of fun. It was a little awkward, but it was kind of fun too. But then at the end, he's like, "Are you smarter than a fifth grader?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "What's 8 times 8?" And
Ah,
I'm so bad at
sweating
math.
your balls off just for
No,
that
no, no, no,
answer.
dude, I wasn't sweating, man. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck. I'll admit. He could have just asked me, "Are you good at math?" I would have been like, "No, I'm terrible at math." Like, and he's like, "What's 5 times 5?" I'm like, 25. Like, come on, I know that. I'm like, but I was bad. I'm just always been bad at eights. Um, but yeah, it's a little embarrassing. But at the same time, I flipped it on him is my point. I'm telling your audience because they're probably like, "Oh, you didn't know 8 times 8," and the cameras were rolling. I'm like, yeah, they might try to flip that on me and make a viral moment, right? But at the same time, hopefully you continue. Hopefully you go back to the Raw one when that comes out because it'll be a big show.
Right.
Hopefully you go back. I don't want to say the name, but hopefully you go and watch the Raw one because you'll see how I flipped it on him, right? You'll see that
Yeah,
I
yeah,
go.
yeah. Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
see that I'll admit, dude, I got D's in school, man. I went to Chicago public school. I retained none of it. I'm not a school guy. I do other things. I'm a filmmaker. I don't really rely on
Right. You
eight times
educate
eight. I
people
don't
by
deal
this.
with cash and money. Like adults nowadays, they'd be like me, 8 times 8. Oh shit, hold on. Unless they deal with numbers and money. I don't, right?
Hmm.
So, but I flipped it on them. Rob, I said, look, man, I said, let me guess, you got straight A's in math, didn't you? I was like, don't lie. And he's like, yeah, I got A plus. I'm like, okay, you got an A plus in math your whole life. I said, so I got something for you. I said, why can I see a boat 100 miles away if the Earth's curvature formula is 8 inches per mile squared? And he had no answer. And he's like, oh, well, I'm not that good at math. Well, I know what you're doing. I'm like, no, don't do 8 times 8 on me, bro. All right.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
the guy on the side had a little note that said 64. They were trying to make fun of me, of course. I didn't know 8 times 8. Again, if someone gave me a minute, yeah, I'd come up. I'm not
Yeah,
retarded.
yeah, yeah. Because
But it
but
was
you're
it
not
was one of those
involved in
like
it all
answer
the
now,
time.
answer now, answer now,
Right.
right? And
How
I'm
good
like,
are you at video editing, Mister? So you got stuff
yeah.
that's very familiar with and stuff that you don't. It's simple as
Look,
that.
man, I'm not school educated, and I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I'm not. It really
Right.
does help me see the truth and learn the things that are the most important for
Hmm.
me as a human, for me as a soul internally. I want to learn those things. I don't care about simple math. There's calculators. If calculators broke, I'll use my fucking hands. I don't care about
Right,
that
right.
the way other people do and the
hmm
way other people utilize it. But I'm not making excuses. I know that I should have answered that. I know in a general gist of it all, I should have got that. but I
Right.
don't fucking care either, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
it's like
Because
a
what
toss up.
makes the sense? What makes sense, right? So because
Anyways, yeah.
we're now on a 1 hour.
I got like 15, boss. I got like 15.
Okay, oh, I love that because I got 12 questions for you, but I first want to ask you something about.
8 times 8, you're gonna ask me 8 times 8?
Oh no, absolutely not, because I have to.
64. I know it now.
Oh yeah,
I'm the
you
smart.
just told me.
Now I'm the smartest guy in the world from that. So what's up?
Yeah.
Go ahead though. Go
Ooh.
ahead though.
Okay, man. So you got David Weiss, which does a great job with the Flat Earth app.
FlatEarthJew.com. Literally,
Yes.
FlatEarthJew.com. It'll go right to his website. He did it on purpose, but go ahead.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And you got, of course, Erik Dubay. You mentioned it before.
Yes.
You
I
got
love
also
Erik, man.
Mark Sargent, which
Nah, I'm not a fan, bro. Not a fan.
yeah, because he a little bit screwed up, I think, in your opinion, about flatten the curve.
You don't
No,
want
no,
my
that's from
opinion.
Vega.
Trust me,
Sorry,
you don't
sorry.
want my opinion, but move on.
Okay, I don't want to have your opinion about that. I had a great
Not right
interview
now.
with him, though. So there are a lot of things going out, and a lot of people are taking a lot of effort and a lot of passion to put stuff out to tell people, hey, just look at this and make up your own mind. Just like
Yes.
you, just like Vika. Tomorrow,
I love Vika. Yeah.
yeah, oh man, love that guy too, man. Tomorrow I have a episode with Libby Liberty. She's pointing out a lot of stuff on Instagram too, and
Okay.
yeah, she is also a lovely lady. Which and Tyler, the flat Earth, the fittest flat earther. There are more and more people, and I came to podcasting and to Raul with the Firmamental. Shout out for these guys with George Hobbs, and it's
Yeah.
built. It's been a very small community, which I felt I was alone in, and then you reach out to other people, and then it starts growing, and you feel, more and more people come together, and you are the first one that showed me stuff on YouTube where I could relate to, just like, you see, that's what I'm telling all the time, right? So you're kind
Yeah.
of hero for me, for especially for the first days when Flat Earth came out and stuff like that. And now I'm talking to you, so everything is possible, right? And
Well, yeah, man. I'm just a normal guy, dude. For
yeah,
me, if you can't talk to someone like that, there's something wrong, right?
right,
Someone that stands for truth, number one, should want to talk about it. So if you're inviting people onto your podcast, for instance, and they keep saying no, thank you, I don't do podcasts, or I don't show my face, or I don't this, or I don't, fuck off. I don't trust you.
right,
I'm sorry.
right,
And
right.
this isn't a knock at people that hide behind the camera.
Hmm.
But it's weird that a lot of the people that turn on these rabbit holes, or that they renege of the rabbit holes, they're usually the ones that don't show their face anyway. So, and this isn't a knock at
Exactly.
Crow 777 because he doesn't show his face. I respect the shit out of him. He's a smart guy. Or
Yeah,
Warrenon, RV Truth. There's a lot of people out there that they don't show their face. So, like, for me, it's like, bro, you want to talk shit about me, or you want to talk shit about what I'm researching?
hmm
Show your face, or
right.
meet me
Get
in
in the
person,
ring,
or meet me in person. That's
Yeah,
it. I mean, we'll have a conversation about it. It's as simple as that. I respect everyone's beliefs. At the end of the day, you weren't there, I wasn't there. But when I see my collective amount of evidence that there's something going on, and you're
right.
going to take all that and go, nope, that's all, just throw that away, man. Fuck you. I'm not throwing shit away. And I'm going to wake the world up to not only the history is a lie, but if you're going to keep supporting that our human species, our 5'8" on average human species, built these giant buildings with giant doors, giant everything is for giants, and then deny that there was giants on top of it. And then some of these guys come back and go, no, there were giants though. What the fuck are you talking about that?
Right.
So there was a race of giants before us that just went, but you want me to think that we built all that because Rockefeller also says that. And, the horse and buggy era, they had steam trains though. And like, that's their hang up. Like, yo, but they had some steam trains. So
Right.
that does not explain marble coming 700 miles away, you fucking idiot. You don't.
Exactly.
They don't make sense, and they don't provide any evidence that these buildings are legitimately made by us. They show the fake construction photos, they call them real, and they act like, it just sucks, man, because there's so many people in the truth community that can help. They can help and say, look, point to this direction, point to that direction. But I think some of these players, they have an ego. they didn't come up with it first. They don't want to be the ones that are riding coattails and someone else is more popular with this topic. I don't give a shit. I don't care about anything. I care about the truth, and I care about educating the youth. I care about educating the future. So the future of humanity for our children is not like this. And I don't want it to be like this anymore. I don't like the fake players, man. I don't like the people that come in, they grab this audience, and then they start steering them in the wrong direction. And then they have
less
them
evidence.
No evidence. Then they have them against.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they have them try to be against the truth seekers that are out there trying to figure out this information. Look, we're all trying to figure this out. Just like the flat earth. It's been years now. We're all trying to figure this out. I don't like when people that act like they're on our team, they go on the other side, and to me, it ruins all their credibility. It's one thing to say, look, you could chuck it up as, hey man, I don't know. I wasn't there. Maybe Giants built it. Maybe, they lied about it all, or maybe we did. I don't know. But at least say, I don't know, instead of saying anyone that's into the old world is retarded.
Yeah, right.
Really retarded that all these pictures from the 1800s with no human beings in sight, with buried buildings, muddy buildings, mud roads. Name the last time you saw a building being built, but it was being built on a mud road. They didn't put a road down first. You don't put the foundation down first. Get the fuck out of here. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, from any perspective, that makes no sense. And that's why I have an architect in Old World Order. He's been an architect for more than 20 years. So technically, he's a whistleblower, right?
Right,
because he knows that cannot have been made by us. There's different types of properties, different types of stone that he knows where it's from. He knows
underground and stuff like that. And that's what I like when you point
underground
out
tunnels, underground everything. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's what I like about when you make your documentaries. You like the raw footage. Just like when you're filming outside a facility with the satellite facility, and a guy comes up and just have a small talk, and just like, oh no, I know for all my years that the satellite's been blowing up into space with balloons. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and again, that was right place, right time, because me and Flat Earth Millionaire that day, actually it was the day before. I was in Texas that week and to film with him, and we were going to go the day before to the Satelloon Center because it's about, it was a nice drive from his house. It was in the middle of nowhere. But then you see this NASA water tower. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? Out of nowhere. And it's this little thing with cameras and microphones everywhere. I mean, everything's being recorded.
Right.
So it just so happened that I'm like, no, let's just do it tomorrow. Like one of those lazy moments, right? Thank God we did, because if we didn't, none of that would happen. We went the right place, right time, not a coincidence. We get there, one of the main guys there is closing up, and he beelines right into my camera.
Right.
He could have just drove away, and we just would have did the basic shooting of what Satelloons are, right? That's a nice backdrop. Why not? That's where they launch them. But he comes right in. And he's like, are you filming me? And I was like, dude, we're in public. There's no expectation of privacy.
Right.
But then we befriended him quickly. I didn't want to put 10 minutes on the film of just talking, how you been, how long you worked here, all the dumb shit. So at the very end, I just went all in. I could tell his mannerisms that he was about to get up and leave. He was putting it back, getting the seatbelt ready, and I'm like, shit, he's about to leave. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, hey, I'm like, what's up with these satellites, the ones that are just magically up there, He has no idea what I'm talking about. No idea. He's like, what? I'm like, what? They're shot up with rockets, right? It makes sense, right? Or they're all in balloons. And he's like, it's like, I'm like, you've never heard about the satellites without balloons? And he's like, I have no idea. I mean, he doesn't know, and he's works for the satellite center.
Wow.
So, and that means that he knows they're all in balloons. So it's very compartmentalized, obviously. Now, and when people go, dude, they're all in on it, all these millions of people. No, this guy doesn't even know what's going on. And he's misleading the own truth that he upholds, that they're all in balloons. He doesn't even know that there's a story that they're not on balloons. And he's an employee there. So that means that not everybody at NASA knows the truth, guys. So we can't just look at someone at NASA and go, oh, fuck you. It's like, dude, that lady just prints the magazines. She just believes the shit. She doesn't have evidence, because when people go, my aunt works for NASA, she's not a liar. I'm like, what does she do? Oh, the magazine. What does that have to do with the
with
top of the
all
top.
that stuff. Yeah, yeah. Or he makes a bolt for that and that spaceship. Only the
Yeah,
bolt. And what does he see? Well, he sees nothing. Only bleep bleep
nothing.
goes in his office.
Yeah,
Does a cat program to make the bolt, and then he
correct.
puts it on his engineers, and they make it in a different country. Then the bolt comes over, and that's it. You know,
But
you don't
my
know what.
uncle worked on the satellite part. I don't
Oh
fucking
wow!
give a shit. That
Right.
means nothing. That like, oh, you got me now. Like, okay, your uncle
Okay.
worked on a part. Good luck with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. All right. I'm going to ask you 12 questions, Sean. And thank you for your time and energy already because I love the energy that you have about spitting out the truth to the people.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll end with your questions. Let's go.
okay, let's get it on. What's
Is it
your
yes or no questions? What? How's the process?
no, these I have to say these could be very hard questions. They're a little well, let's just dive into it and you
All
will
right,
see.
no math questions. Let's go.
No, not no math questions. I put them out. What's your definition of God?
My definition of God,
Yeah.
the creator of everything.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I've never been asked that. The definition of God. You know what? Love.
Beautiful one. What's your definition of the devil?
Hate.
Good one.
Um, yeah, hate, low vibrations, evil.
Mm,
Um, you know,
yeah.
uh, yeah,
Fear.
yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What's your favorite music?
The old me or now?
Oh yeah, I know. I know. Vika asked me in his podcast Heliopsychosis the same questions as I asked my guests, and I was fucking struggling, man. Just like, oh fuck. There.
Well, the old me, the old. Well, there's a difference though. The old me would say Eminem. You
Mhm.
know, I was a big Eminem head. I
Right.
haven't listened to him in years, is the point. But
And the new
uh,
me?
the new me would frequencies, man. I'm a big frequency guy, so
Oh
I
wow.
listen to frequencies every day, every night. Yeah, that's my. Now in the car, you know, I listen to talk radio and stuff. You know,
Mhm.
Tinfoil Hat.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Obviously, the Stu Peters Network's my favorite show of all time. But you know, I'm more. You know, I'll still listen to some. I still like some pop punk once in a while, like my high school music, like Newfound
Good.
Glory or Fall Out Boy, or just
But it's
stuff that people
different,
probably
right?
puke at. People
It's
probably puke at it now, but it's just memories for me. So I'll listen to because I know it's not evil, the pop punk, the you know
yeah,
that
yeah,
type of
yeah.
vibe. It's just high school music. So I'll jam to
Right.
that sometimes, cleaning up or something. But and yeah, I'll be honest. I'll still listen to hip hop once in a while, you know.
Mhm.
But the hip hop I listen to now is more people I know are not involved in trafficking or Hollywood or just like
Right.
underground type of stuff, or like someone like Lord Jamar, who's my buddy, Brand Nubian. I'll listen to their stuff because I know him. I'll listen to King Bao. King Bao's a rapper. I'll listen to more independent rapper, even some
Mhm.
Bryson Gray. I'm not a Trump guy, but you know,
Raul.
like I try to listen to music. Yeah, and yeah, well, Raul's good too, man.
Oh
The
yeah,
Firm
I
Master
know, man.
podcast.
He's
He's
spitting
working on
some.
some tracks now for me, so he's doing a good job.
Love that.
I try not to listen to music that much anymore because I
Mhm.
know what it is. But
Exactly.
when it's homemade, when it's raw, when it's real, yeah, I'll always listen to like I have playlists on my Spotify that's just called Truth. So it's just a bunch of songs that have to do with anti-government. You know, Michael Jackson, They Don't Care About Us.
Oh wow, yeah.
Actually, you know what? I take that back, man. I guess if I had to pick one musician that's my favorite musician from birth to today, and that I'm not ashamed of, it would be Michael Jackson.
Wow.
So
And
Michael
I
would
know
be
what you're saying, and I know what you're
probably
saying
my
about
number
music.
one. And the fact that people listening could go, wait a minute, you just shot at Eminem for being dark Hollywood occultist that you
Mhm.
stopped listening to. Why not Mike? Well, Mike was the opposite of that. They painted Mike into a dark occult pedophile.
Exactly.
He was the complete opposite. He knew about Hollywood and what they were doing to children. And he was the only guy on this earth that I ever saw in my 39 years
It
that
came up.
actually helped the children, helped
Yes. Oh.
physically, boots on the ground, underground tunnels, money being handed over, millions of dollars a day. No
Hmm.
one knows this shit because CNN didn't tell you at noon. So they told you he molested kids. And it's your choice to believe CNN because you better put your mask on if you think Michael raped kids. That's all I'm going to say. You better put your fucking mask on, little Billy boy, okay? But go
Yeah.
ahead. So
And
Michael
check
Jackson.
out,
Okay, Michael Jackson's my answer.
yeah,
Next
and
question.
check out Neverland, right? That was the documentary.
Entering Neverland. Yeah.
Entering. Sorry for that. Yeah.
No. Leaving Neverland was the Oprah HBO
Yeah,
bullshit
yeah, that's the
mockumentary.
bullshit
Yeah,
crap.
I
No, no.
have a rebuttal called Entering Neverland. Go
And
check that out.
it's amazing good one. It's amazing good one. Okay, we continue, Sean. What's your favorite movie or series?
The old me or the new me?
All right, we're gonna divide in the new and
The old me. The old me would say Sopranos.
Surprise!
My favorite of all time.
Right.
The new me would say I don't watch anything.
I know that's
The new,
I
okay,
know
no,
that
the new me, the
feeling.
new me would say my lunch break on YouTube because that's every week. I'm like,
Yeah,
new
some new stuff
episode,
going on. Yeah,
new
but I,
episode.
I can so relate with you when you say just like the old me and the new me because I'm everything that's been put out now or what I want to watch on Netflix or whatever is just like no, 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 or I give it 1 minute
Well,
and then
yeah.
just skip it because I can't stand it anymore. This fucking bullshit that they put up, something
Well, it's
like
like
that.
saying the old me, Newports. The new me, clean nicotine. So there's always ways to get better in your life, and people
Yeah.
go, "Oh, clean nicotine's still not good." Yeah, well,
I
this will
had
be gone. It's
I had
steps. It's a step-by-step process, guys.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
get there.
I
Don't
had
worry.
blondes and cigarettes, and now I have cigars. When you turn 51, you gotta go cigars or whatever it is. What's your favorite kind of book? Or what's your favorite book? Sorry.
Iron Republic.
Oh, good one.
Mhm.
Favorite booze or
Say that
drink?
again. Oh, drink.
Favorite
Sorry,
drink.
booze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a boozer really. I'll have a stout. How about that? I'll
Oh,
give in to say when it's time. It's not often. When it's time, I'll have a nice stout, especially if it's homemade, brewed there. I'll have a nice
you
stout. I
like
don't
to
do
really
Miller Lite. I don't do like Miller Lite, Bud Light,
no.
Corona. I no thank you. No
The,
thank you. No, it's
the
free.
old
No,
you
no
did.
thank you. No thank you.
The
I
old
just don't
you
like
did.
piss beer. Huh?
The old you did.
The old me definitely. Yeah, the
Yeah.
old me was Bush Light, bro. Give me a 24 case of Bush Light, bro. 36 pack, whatever. Like we would pull those in high school, yeah, for sure. After high school, even more. But I literally, man, I didn't drink. I stopped drinking, like drinking from like 22. I think because it got old. You're 21, you're legal. You have that 1 year of being legal. Then it's like, okay, now it's not
I'm gonna
illegal,
get
so it's not.
drunk.
Yeah, it's not fun anymore. I think from like 22 years old to today.
Right.
Very, very light drinker. I
Mm.
do like smoking weed sometimes, I'll tell you, but
Oh yeah. Oh, you got to come to the Netherlands and just beat me up, man. We're gonna go to some very nice places there because it's
yeah.
legal and stuff like that.
Well, it's legal in California, so
Oh, that's good. But it's funny
and
that people listening now to the new Rob and the new Sean, because
yeah,
5 years ago I was a totally different person.
well, mine was about 10 years ago, but I'm with you.
Wow,
Yep.
wow.
Yep.
What's your
I haven't
favorite?
paid taxes in 12 years either.
Oh, you gotta tell me how. That's a good one too.
Stop
But we
paying.
can probably do part two, right? Because I love
Yeah, we
the
will.
energy and the stuff that you bring out. What's your favorite food, Sean?
The old me or the no. My favorite, well, yeah, I'm a vegetarian, so that's why the old me I would have said, probably White Castle or something I used to love back in the day, but
Mhm.
Nowadays, I mean, mangoes and avocados, man. Those are my two favorites.
Oh, an avocado with egg, or don't you eat egg either?
I don't, I mean, again, for me, if it's in it, if I'm out, it is,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
it's like
But
it's
you're not.
kind of like tell me after, but I don't want that.
Yeah.
People need to understand it's a chicken's menstrual cycle. So if you are happy with eating a period, then be happy with that, I guess. I mean, it's really up
Right,
to you. It's up to you.
right, right,
I don't
right.
want it, but
Uh,
at the same time, it's it's not no one fucking stabs someone in the head for it. So I get it. Like if you're, that's why I basically call myself a veg.
mhm.
Because there's sometimes that something's gonna be a cow milk's in something. I'm out in the restaurant. I'm like, fuck, it's just like it's really hard to get out of unless I'm home in Cali, because Cali is vegan restaurants everywhere. Vegan restaurants are fucking outstanding.
Okay.
But when I'm traveling all the time, man. Like when I was in Prescott,
that's
Arizona for
that's
Michelle
hard.
Gibson. Good luck. I should have called like someone like Erik Dubay, who's like a raw vegan. Like, dude, what am I supposed to eat out here, bro? Like, There's nothing like I can't just have bread for 3 days. Like I can't. It sucks. So you got to
Oh
become
man.
vegetarian sometimes out in public. But generally speaking, I try to stay vegan. In terms
Mm,
of the health and the food and
good.
having nutrition. But
Right.
I'm not talking shit about meat eaters. I'm just saying, um, you know, just watch that blood, man. Watch putting other people's blood into you. That's
Yeah.
all. It's just not good.
Otherwise, look at his documentary because you are not eating that piece of meat the same thing as before you watched it.
No,
100%.
no. Yeah, it's called The
I
Taste
agree.
of Life. It's on my Rockfin. I think YouTube took it down actually. So I think it's
They
only on my
did?
Rockfin right now.
Ah,
Yeah, I
fuck them.
believe YouTube took that. I'll double check. I haven't been on my YouTube in a while. I fucking hate YouTube, but
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be canceled also, but I got some other stuff going on. It probably
no, man, it's a good billboard sign. YouTube's a giant billboard sign. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, if it's a
mm,
billboard sign for you, nothing
right,
wrong with it.
right. All right. What is the favorite clothing that you like to wear?
Man, this sounds egotistical, but my own stuff now, like I try to just wear my own stuff, even
Oh,
though this
that's why
isn't
I don't have my
This isn't Hill
disorganized
production. This
t-shirt on.
this was a lovely present from the wife, but in
Oh,
general, most of my stuff now, when normal people buy their clothes, once every few months they buy a couple shirts, or I don't know
mhm.
how the world works, but I just buy stuff that has my logo on it, my website. So when I'm out in public, people can
Yeah,
be like, "Oh, well,
promotion,
you make
right?
films?" Yeah. Of course,
Right.
man, because how else can I raise awareness if people don't even look it up? So
Exactly.
I'm a walking billboard usually outside my home because why wear Nike? Who's that support? Who does that help? Nobody.
Yeah, children in China, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Oh
no, I
shit.
don't go to like outlet stores anymore. I don't like, like I can't. Well, I got some Adidas shoes though. I mean, my Adidas shoes are
I love
comfy and
my
all,
Adidas
but
too.
that's
I have
about it.
to admit it. But I
Yeah, I
normally
like
I just
Adidas.
have
I guess
like
okay. I guess I'll say Adidas if I had to pick all the mainstream brands. I'd say
right.
Adidas, not just because of Yay. No, I'm just playing. But I like Adidas is fine. But I'm not going to go out on my way and go buy Adidas stuff. I get a lot of, if I get gifts, some of my family celebrates Christmas, send me gifts for Christmas. 39-year-old getting gifts, weird, but they come in and those are my shoes this year. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't
right,
control what
right.
it says on there, right? So
Okay. What's your favorite holiday? Oh no, what's your favorite vacation destination? Because I knew somebody pointed out a holiday is something
vacation.
different than a vacation in America, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really had a vacation, man,
Oh,
that I could think of in that sense. It's always been with my
where would you
camera.
like to go to then?
Without my camera, that'd be great. Just to have a time off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it was free, I guess I would take me and the wife to man, I don't know, man. That's a great question. I've never even thought about that. Costa Rica, probably. I think,
Hmm.
for me, Costa Rica, I just want to see Costa Rica. I want to be there. I want to feel the real rain. I want to taste the real fruit, the original trees
Right.
from God. All of our forests in this world should have fruit on it. That's how
Hmm.
you know man, it's all man-made. That's how you know that man has a plan for our cancerous future.
Hmm.
So you go to
And
Costa
foresting
Rica.
is illegal. Don't eat
You
the
go,
fruits
yeah.
from the forest. Oh,
You
fuck
go to
that.
Costa Rica, at least from YouTube, when I watch it on there or wherever it's on. But you see that's God's food for us, and
Exactly.
they've been there
Exactly.
for a long,
Garden of
long,
Eden.
long, long time. Those trees
Garden
have
of
been there a
Eden
long
just in
time.
front of us. Okay, last
Yeah.
two questions, Sean.
Yep.
What's your favorite quote?
Favorite quote. Well, in terms of like a repeating saying, I always say there's nothing new under the sun.
Mhm.
But in terms of a quote, because I don't even know who said that originally. So a quote would probably be, um, um, "It's easier to fool somebody than convince them they've been fooled." That's been my go-to.
Wow.
It's easier to fool somebody
Someone
than to convince them that they
that
have
they're
been
full.
fooled, and it's
Right.
true.
Right.
You could fool a 5-year-old that Santa Claus is coming tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
But good luck telling that same 5-year-old that believed it all year when they're 6 that it was all a lie.
Oh.
They'll tell you that Santa did come because he ate the cookie. And then you'll tell them that you put the cookie there. And they'll tell you, no, you didn't. And that's the point. It's very hard to say, hey man, we don't live on a ball.
Mhm.
Because that the Glober, they're 5 years old in their mind when you tell them that. I don't care if they're 50. They're
Yeah.
5 because that's when they were told that, and no one told them otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking their ball away, and that's why it's the struggle.
Right. Last question, Sean.
Yep.
What's your life's motto?
Transparency and truth. Period. Transparency and truth. I don't care about feelings. I used to. I don't
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I think that that gets in the way of a good the change in our world that's necessary. We need to stop caring about feelings. We
Mm-hmm.
need to stop being like, oh, you're out in public and someone mentions World War II narrative, the false narrative, and everyone. That's what we need to stop. Is the that's what I
Positivity and
can't
love.
stand. I can't stand
Positivity
that.
and love. And
Stop
truth.
doing that shit. We need to talk. We need to communicate. We need to figure out the truth. Be
Exactly.
transparent. Don't care if it hurts your feelings. Don't
Mm-hmm.
care if your grandpa told you that he was at the World's Fair and he saw something. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. Your grandpa lied to you. Grandpas lie. Okay. So there's
Right.
there's certain things that in my life that I've noticed that it's always about feelings for people
Mm-hmm.
that like, oh my God, you have my great grandpa's half Jewish. You offended me. I don't care. These are the people doing something to our country. This is what's happening. I can show you this. Here's all my receipts.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that it disturbs feelings, different opinions on things, different facts. But I need to stop caring. You need to stop caring about feelings. We all need to stop caring. Besides children's feelings, let's protect our children.
Right.
Talking about grown up to grown up, we need to have civil conversations. We need to start locally. We need to walk into our board of education. We need to walk into our state office, start pulling these motherfuckers out by their hair and replacing them with the people we want. We, the
Mm-hmm.
people, have the power. And once you realize, and I'll leave you with this. There's two angles I can go with this. Whether you're political, whether you're religious.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with political. Politically, we have the legal right when government is tyrannical to go in there and fucking kill them. Legally. Right now. No one knows that. It's legal. Destroy
Ow.
them. Okay? No one knows that. No one knows that. Because they think they'll all
Uh-huh.
go to jail and they'll get raped. Yeah, a few might go. Yeah, the first wave will go get fucked up probably. Who's going to have the
Yeah,
balls?
but the other ones will have a good life then. And a
The
better...
other wave is not going to, I'm waiting for that first wave. And so what I'm doing, because I'm not the assassin mind, so I don't mean to be a hypocrite, but I'm activating the assassins. I got the Bryce Mitchells, Eddie Bravo. You got all these assassins. They're ready. So King Bao, are you kidding me? He'll kick someone in the face right now if it's needed.
How about
We need
Mike
people
Tyson,
like
man?
this.
He has always been an assassinator, man.
Yeah, but Tyson, I don't know, man.
Well,
mean,
he okay, he's a little bit older
sure, he's
age
touching walls too. My point is this. There's one side of it politically, what we can do, okay? We could take action because we legally can. People need to understand that. The other side of it is religious. If you're a religious person, you don't follow politics, that's fine. Could be both, you could follow both. The religious side of it, once you realize that the hotel Bible that's free in your hotel room has been through a very heavily game of telephone.
now.
Scriptures have been pulled out on purpose. Scriptures have been added and fabricated on purpose for your mind. The typical Christian thinks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I don't lose your audience with this, but the typical
No,
Christian thinks.
disorganized.
That's fine. The typical Christian thinks that when evil comes, what do? What does Jesus say? You turn your what?
Cheek.
Turn your cheek. Well, that was added, ladies and gentlemen. That's not real. That's not real. If you look at the Old Testament, you look at some of the original scriptures, the stuff that they have hidden, the stuff that's probably the Vatican only has authentic stuff now, but there's tons of articles on this in the past. There's tons of copies of it. You could see these scriptures that say, and this isn't verbatim, but that say in the Bible, the original shit that say if evil, basically, in other words, if evil comes to your doorstep in the name of God, you destroy the fuck out of all of them and stand there with the chest out like God and say, God, I'm here. You're not going to read that anymore because
No.
they're scared that Christians will do that because God said so, right? Jesus said so.
Right.
So they're going to do it. Well, that's why they removed that and they put in turn your cheek. And that's what everyone's fucking doing. That's what everyone's doing. Is they're like, oh, I see them raping our kids. I see them drinking the blood of our children. I see them lying to the masses on television. I see them reading books to children with guys with one tit hanging out. I see all this stuff, but man, we got to turn our cheek, man. Jesus said so. Well, that's bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Darn.
It doesn't make sense anyway. it doesn't make sense anyway. If you look into it, and I always say, look about what is the intention that somebody wrote a book. It doesn't matter what religion or what book. What's the intention? What did the maker want you
Story.
to believe? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Oh man, thank you very much for your time, Sean.
Yeah.
I definitely gonna text you up for a part two if you
Sure.
yeah, you had a
Of
great time
course.
too.
Of course, man. Yeah, I'd love a part two. We could talk
Yeah, cool.
some other topics and
Yeah, probably you're
whatever you want to talk about.
gonna have your premiere about your movie. I'm gonna put it all in the show description, but please tell the listeners where they can find you and yeah, how they can support you because that's
Sure.
also very important.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, hibbelerproductions.com, Hibbeler productions.com. All my films are there. You could donate if someone wants to support, but you know, I'm the type of person that I don't want your $20 for nothing. I want you to, if you want to support me, go look through my download film section and, you know, get a couple films. At least you get something in return rather than just donating and nothing happens. At least you get to go through a library of rabbit holes where you go, hey, I want to learn about that. Oh, it's $2. Okay. Well, there's your donation. And the people that go, well, we want to donate more than $2. Well, download them all. There you go. I'd rather have you. I think the grand total, if you rented all my films, I think it's like $38. But at the same time, that should be the max donation. If hundreds of people did that a month, then I could pay my bills, you know? So it's like, I don't want these big amounts from people. I don't, and that's why I try, because I see it all the time. Every show I watch, like, go support us, go to this, go to that. And I'm like, you know, I don't want to be like that. But at the same time, if you wanted to support me, that's the best route. Just go download a film, watch it, share it, upload it to your own channel. Get it out
And
in the
it's
world.
better than on Netflix or Prime or whatever kind of shit that you're trying to dig into because for $30, it's like three months of that kind of bullshit that you not learning anything, not seeing any high quality stuff that you really need for educate yourself, your kids, and probably all your friends. You know, you can rent the movie from Sean and you will have a great time for 2 hours getting a beer, popcorn together, and just talk about it subject, what you saw. What was your opinion about what you saw? What is your perspective of the things that you see? Because that makes sense. Talk about it, communicate with each other about the stuff that you get into your system. And if it's gonna resonate with you, yes or no, talk about it with people. Because then we can awake more people and make them aware of what the really narrative of our history, for example, is. And everything that you said, just like the old world order, which is coming out now in spring, all the other stuff that we talked about, the mud flood, Tartaria, the flat earth, it's all in that religious, in that historian kind of view, right?
Correct. Yeah, it is. But you don't need religion to wake up to those topics either.
Exactly.
I've actually known more people that were atheists that are now a believer of God and a creator because of flat earth, right? So they went from being atheists to now knowing, not believing anymore. Because even atheists, you have to understand that if you're an atheist, that means you believe that there's no creator. Okay, that's fine. That's your choice. You could believe whatever you want. But if you want to know that there is, then you have to study the earth you live at, how it was created, what it does, what purpose is it for. You know, that means there's a creator, guys. There's a God. And for the religious people that watch the show that go, oh man, blasphemy, there's not more land, because God would have mentioned it in the Bible.
He did.
I say this to you, please. I've been that begging for years now. I'll end with this. Please share the scripture in any Bible, any of them, any Quran, any book that says there's 7 continents, because God doesn't say there's 7 continents. The description of God's world is God's world. What if there was 3,000 continents? And how dare you limit the creator? Who are you? Who are you to put limits on the creator? Because your little fucking snow globe behind the curve model has 7 continents on it and you're closed in a Truman Show dome. I don't believe in that, guys. I'm sorry.
Just like that. Thank you very much, Sean, and keep up the good work. I really enjoy it to have you on. And for all the listeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode. There's definitely be a part 2 where we continue with this energetic stuff that we're talked about and dig deeper. Not that deep as the mud flood, but more deeper than that probably
Yeah.
into other topics. And for all the listeners that are listening, thank you for listening and have a good morning, a good day, and a good night wherever you are on this beautiful plain planet. Thank you, brother. Running for all my life with the devil on my heels. He wasn't always kind, and he couldn't fulfill my dreams. I've been running for all my life with the devil on my heels. He wasn't always kind, and he couldn't fulfill my dreams. He's a pain in the ass, black as a night. God, show me the light. He's a pain in the ass, black as a night. God, show me the light and hold me tight. For I've been running for all my life with the devil on my heels. He wasn't always kind, and he couldn't fulfill my dreams. He's a pain in the ass, black as a night. God, show me the light and hold me tight.